think so. Last time it did not work.
Okay. Being it is 12 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Is there any additions or corrections to the previous minutes? There are none, we'll take a motion to approve.
Approve.
Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Coordinators report.
Okay. So, fairly brief, this was seemed like a really quick month. It was busy. So, I went to the Connecting Entrepreneurial Communities Conference in Waseca. That was really good. Learned a lot and was able to network with my colleagues at CEDA. Downtown Lunch Committee, I met with Wendell Engelstad. He's looking to sell 40 acres on the northwest corner of Casson, and he just wanted to see if there was anything the city can help, make any introductions for him to developers, and I connected him with the Rochester Area Builders Resources. Then there was a Strong Towns event in Rochester, which I attended. Nancy Zaworski was also there. And Cabin Coffee came to town last Friday to tour and see if there are any good spots, if somebody's interested in franchising business in the city. So, Downtown Lots Committee, we'll go over that later. The Community Roadside Landscape Partnership, we're just wrapping that up. We're working with MnDOT on the reimbursement expenses. The Small Cities Development Program grant, SEMCRA's opened it up for applications. The environmental review is still ongoing, so they haven't, officially processed these applications, but they are receiving them. The Business Facade Improvement Grant, we'll go over that in a little bit too. The Revolving Loan Fund, I didn't have enough time to get to this month, so we'll definitely have it on November's EDA meeting. And the quarterly financial report, due to the EDA meeting following on the 1st of the month, the financials aren't ready until today, so we'll go over those in November as well.
On to the Business Facade Improvement Program.
Okay, so we had 2 new applications this month, and we have 1 request for reimbursement. So I'll just quickly go through these applications, and I don't know if you want to go through them one by one or all at the end.
One by one.
Okay, so the Whitmarshes and Trail Creek Coffee have applied for $362.50 to put a sign above the door and entrance. I think this is a really great project. It faces Main Street, it'll get all the attention there, and I think it just makes the building look a lot more inviting, and it's hard to see what's in there, and now that there's a sign, everybody should be ready to walk in.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend we approve this project. I put a memo of all of that stuff at the end of the application, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and then the American Legion also submitted an application. This one's a little different than the packet I sent out on Friday because he was able to secure the second portion of this project. So it'll be a concrete pad and a roof over the rock to protect it from the elements. This will just help beautify the area and also protect the rock, because I think it'll be kind of a physical and mental barrier from people, climbing on the rock, and and also protection from the elements if I have to that area. So I think this is a good project. Now that we've expanded the scope of the program, this fits really well. So.
Is there any discussion?
What would, can you remind me, what would the end product kind of look like? I guess I just don't remember.
So you can kind of get an idea of where the concrete pad, yeah.
There's a canopy.
A canopy,
Yeah.
That'll go over top of it, that would secure to the concrete.
It would be kind of like almost like a gazebo looking thing, kinda like folds like a little roof?
Yeah, I kind of envision it as, you know, those, I think it's like a parapet on top of the angles of a roof.
Yeah.
I think it'll be like that.
Is the canopy extending over the sidewalk at all? 'Cause that rock's pretty close to the sidewalk.
It
Mhm.
should not.
Okay.
What kind of material is the canopy?
Like R&M Steel has the bid, so I'm assuming.
It'd be a steel or aluminum frame, but I don't know what the top would be on it.
So we don't have any picture of what it's
No.
going to, what Iron Steel is going to build, or?
Mm-hmm.
And I could request those from him. I don't think that was part of his process.
They trying to get it done this season though,
Yeah.
so we'd have to,
And then,
we'd almost have to approve it now, I mean,
Mhm.
if they want it done now,
quickly,
'cause
Well-
you wouldn't be able to do it next month.
Why not?
That'll be November.
November, you can pour concrete in the winter, but it's a lot more expense, 'cause you'd have to
eat it.
heat the ground, keep it from freezing.
Depending upon the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've mowed lawn many a time for Thanksgiving.
Could be
But
50 or
sooner
50
the better
below.
for this
Right.
case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it, I mean, is the canopy going to go above that building next, you know, there, or it's gonna be flatter?
So, I think he had originally discussed it might extend from the side of the building, but I don't believe that's how it'll happen. I unfortunately don't have that answer. But as he goes through this process, we can ensure that it, you know, it fits code and follows the ordinances.
What are the ordinances?
I can pull those up.
I mean, is there an ordinance determining?
There might be, say if he
Oh.
was to extend the roof, you know, from his, you'd probably need a permit for that. But I think if it's, you know, like a tiny artistic gazebo, you probably don't need a permit for that.
Just the concrete work.
Mhm.
They don't even need it for the concrete, do they?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying here, but
Yeah.
most times, probably wouldn't.
No.
Is there any way you can get information about it?
Yeah, I can,
Because if we got some more of the idea of what the canopy's like, we could do a vote via email,
mhm.
if we held it up.
Can we do a vote via email? Or is that,
No, we can't? Okay.
that's not the public meeting law?
Okay.
I mean, I guess I would say, I get, my opinion on it would be, to approve it contingent, you're okay on the design of the canopy,
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be
guess,
approving the
so.
project and then just waiting for it to happen. And then see what happens at the end and then think, oh, we would be making sure that it follows all the code and.
The only holdback that I have is that we were just up there for the Legion open house, and when you say that's very close to the sidewalk, it's very close to the sidewalk. That canopy to, shelter the rock, I don't know how it wouldn't be.
Well, they're gonna have to move the rock to pour the cement, maybe they're gonna move the rock farther back.
Maybe.
You know, we don't know, I agree.
Say, can we ask, or
Yeah.
can we suggest, or?
Why don't we just tell them they can't impede on the sidewalk, because that's part of the court ordinance and code.
Yeah.
And you don't want any water
Yeah.
running
And
off
whether
of
they
it.
completely cover it or
Right.
not, that's they're.
Exactly.
Are they gonna
Like
move the
the
rock or
awning
they
that's
pour around it?
on Main
Ah,
Street,
yeah.
that
Looking at the
rain
diagram, it
and
looks-
snow goes off.
I
into
can't
the-
tell, you could say they're pouring around it, or
On
you could
people's
pick it up and
cars.
move it. If I was doing it, I'd be moving it.
But, you know, you
Do it
look
right.
at it from the front and it looks
Good
like,
going.
oh, how many feet is it from the, but then you look at it from the side and you go,
It
"How many feet?"
looks like there's a good distance, but yet.
Yeah,
Well, and I think it might depend on the direction of the roof. You know, if it's sloping
Yeah.
towards the sidewalk, but if it's, you know, if the edge is right there and it slopes either
yeah,
side.
how is it gonna be a teepee, is it gonna be, like you
Mhm.
say, a octagon?
Yeah, the other question too is whether they're cementing around the rock or if they're moving it, putting it back down.
Yeah, who moved the rock in?
I don't know.
Some big truck.
Well, right now, we have a motion to approve with, by Tom, with the city.
And I can
making sure it
follow up
follows.
with Blair and make sure that he's gonna follow the correct processes and I can also update the board as we go along with that.
I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion and a second, do we have any more discussion? Put it to vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and the Manorwood facade application, they're requesting reimbursement. I've included just the final set of photos, but I also have the completed packet with all, you know, what this brick tuck pointing looked like before they painted over it, if you're interested in seeing that. I think they did an excellent job, it looks, very much improved from before. So I would recommend that the EDA, approves the reimbursement.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. He does look nice. Good paint.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll move to downtown lots committee.
Okay, so we wrapped up our kind of research and discussion, and you'll see at the back, we've, you know, if the EDA wants to move forward with kind of turning this place into a public amenity, or a nicer public amenity than it already is, we've made some recommendations, mostly starting with low-level, you know, ways to improve the area. And if the EDA was to approve, you know, moving forward with this, then I would start conversations with Ron at Park and Rec and start exploring opportunities to maybe work with the school to help build benches or picnic tables and stuff like that. I don't know if, Tom or Mike wanna talk more about this, if you got anything to add.
I really don't.
Tom?
I mean, I guess our, I don't know, excuse me, I think that our perspective on it is there's kind of this spectrum of, how involved you wanna get in working on the, kinda investing in a little parklet over there. You know, and so it looks like we got kind of this low-level activation up to high level, you know, so I think at the very least, it'd be nice to do some of the basic stuff, like mow the grass, and maybe, do something with the tree.
Mhm.
Just like move the benches to be a little more welcoming.
Yeah.
Like right now, they're kinda like set up like, I don't know, like you're gonna get in there and, I don't know, have at it or something, I don't know, it's kinda like facing each other, and like, you're gonna battle. So I think, I'd be like, yeah, it'd be nice to.
Set a chessboard up in the.
Yeah, so, yeah, I guess we can do that, that's maybe a little bit middle level, but I think, you know, just maybe angling them so they're like a little more friendly.
Mhm.
Like that kind of thing. You know, if we're interested, I'd say maybe like next spring, you know, we had talked about the idea of just kind of extending like the, you know, doing something a little more permanent, like with the pavers and stuff. We thought, you know, based on some of the real initial estimates, that it would probably be better to, partner with like Eagle Scouts or something on a project, just to, cause it looked like the normal cost if we were just to hire people would be, it was like, what, $12 a square foot, something like that, which is
Yeah.
Pretty close to.
spendy, but it
Lot of
sounds
square
like,
feet.
it sounds like a lot of those materials companies will consider donating if it's more of like an Eagle Scout project, and if we can involve some of our, some of our, local scouts, in that kind of project, I think that'd be great in terms of just having that more community.
And I'll
investment.
add that this gives us a nice balance between beautifying the space and making it more welcoming, but also not going too far into turning it into a park. We can gauge how the public uses it, and, if a development opportunity came along, it's not, we really have to scale back this park and take everything out, and we're losing this. It's still very developable.
The one other, and then I guess the one other thing that I would add to that is, I had reached out to, she's like the community involvement person for the Mayo Clinic in Casson, just mentioned, we were thinking about it, and they said they were interested in kind of hearing more about what we're thinking with this little park. So, I mean, I guess I wanted to know kind of how we were feeling about that before we saw if, if they wanted to help and, sponsor a scout project or a little benches or a community sign or something, I don't know. Anyways, and I think KMTEL had kind of the same input too, was just they wanted to hear more, they'd be interested in hearing more about it. So anyways, I think, those being kind of two of the major employers, like right there, that probably have people taking lunch breaks in where this parklet would be, I think they'd be, if we decide we wanna go ahead and do more work around it, that they'd be good to just kinda see what they think, even if it's, mostly just so they know that it's available for their employees if they're taking lunch or taking a break in that area, and that it's open to them.
Not only that, but the Legion, you can tie that whole project in with the Eagle Scouts, cause that's their subsidiary for their troop.
Oh, with like the gazebo and
The
stuff.
Legion, yeah.
That'd be, that'd be good.
So you can tie that all together.
The Byron, Junior Council has a food truck that they have purchased and gotten a grant for, to be a money-making project, that, if we could get something, if we could get the chamber possibly to have a, once a day, a week, have a food truck that would come, that people would know they could go get a lunch there.
Well, and that's a good way to, draw people into the park too,
Right.
get your lunch,
Oh,
here's a place
we'd
to eat.
like to draw them to downtown.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and there's a gentleman that sells hot dogs by,
Yeah, exactly, by Carly Lane.
over
Yeah.
there.
And we have the
No.
family that does the donuts, the
No.
mini donuts here in
They're not
Casson.
usually during the day.
No,
at
I
night,
know
yeah.
they work, but I know they come to the fair, they've been a part of
Yeah.
our community forever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it sounds to me like that would be, that was something else that we had on the spectrum for our activation levels. The one thing with food trucks is, I don't believe we have any permitting or ordinances
Right.
around food trucks right now.
That's
which
a
is
good thing.
Which is, yeah, I do think we have
Come
to
and go
say,
if they'd like.
we do have to say that it's allowed. I think you have to have that, even if you're not gonna be as complicated as some of our other neighbors. You do have to say, this is allowed, otherwise I think they might fall under, was it peddler, something like the peddler ordinance, which gets a little more
Do we have
dicey.
peddler ordinance?
Yeah, so then I think,
Do you have to get something with the USDA too, to have food served?
That's up to them.
That's
that would.
That's up to the
That's
food.
them,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a peddler's license, you have to get a peddler's license to door knock, or.
Not like
so,
25
yeah.
bucks or something like that.
So you're talking that these football and
No,
softball.
People
No.
from out of town that
Out
come
of
into
town.
town, or.
Just solicit.
So like all the
From
people that came in
Byron.
from Texas and Kansas to shingle homes.
Yeah.
and went door to door soliciting their service, had
They
to
need to-
stop by the police station and get the peddler's permit first.
I'm sure they all did.
Some did, after they got
Absolutely.
asked.
Yeah.
Well, on this park idea, we all know it's getting to that time of the year where there's probably not much work's gonna get done. Being possible, but I don't have any issues
Are the benches
all.
tied down?
with
Anybody could go.
this, but what kind of guideline do we wanna set right away to how far we wanna go? Do we,
Mhm.
and then do we start there and see how it goes and then move on? Cause we gotta kinda pick a budget item. Cause I'm sure this is gonna have to go, if we approve it, the council will approve it but it'll have to go through the parks, cause it'll be out of their budget too.
And they'll be the ones to maintain it.
Yeah, and, yeah.
La Cioja, that one that the Eagle
Well, don't
Scouts
they
did.
maintain it now?
That's-
No, I guess they don't.
The only Dodge County
They-
Park
they
in La
do.
Cioja, the Boy Scouts did, you know, with the shelter over it, with the picnic table, something like that would be, and with the benches, they can make those kinds of things through your Eagle Scout project. That was all done by Boy Scouts.
So I think we'll, with, you know, with budgeting, if we know an amount, but if we wanna pursue community partnerships, that'd be
Yeah.
good, but yeah, I think we gotta decide what's our
What's our goal, how
And I
far we
think
wanna go, and
the
community.
first step is, you know.
Do we wanna do it?
How willing is Parks?
Yep. And then, if we do it, we have the winter to look for community partners too.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep.
There's really nothing for this group to do, the lot committee can continue to talk
Essentially.
with parks and see if there's community partners, and those gonna bring back kinda when you know what
And
that
then
is.
kinda have a
we can
scope.
determine from there.
Sure, so, we're.
This would be more of like, I guess, the direction we sort of start moving now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we were tempering our expectations at lots committee, cause we didn't wanna, you know, the original intent of these lots is to sell them for construction. And I guess our thought is that, should we temper kind of what we're doing, make it a more temporary or removable set of investments into the lots for a parklet, or are we kind of all in on this and just saying, you know what, we'd like to have a little downtown parklet, let's just not plan on selling these? I guess that's our question.
No, I guess I would feel the opposite, to where it's more temporary.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have the benches and all that kind of stuff, cause those can always be moved to
To another park.
Right.
Or somewhere else, you know, so
Yep.
leave the idea open that it could still be purchased, but yet the benches are there, your
Yes.
picnic
Yeah.
tables are there,
Garbage
those can be
bins.
moved to another park.
Use it while we've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, best case
That's my
scenario-
opinion anyway.
Best case
No, I
scenario,
agree.
somebody
I
comes in and
agree.
builds on it. I mean, that's
Right.
what we would hope for,
Yeah.
right?
That's what we want, yeah.
So, I'm kinda getting an idea from the board that we want the lot committee to move forward and talk to the park board and
Okay.
the community.
For something on a temporary basis.
And on a temporary basis,
Right.
Yeah, a temporary as in 2-3 years.
well,
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
So, draw a line right where it says community garden over, you know,
Yeah, and
maybe
just-
that's temporary, and then mural is more permanent,
Mhm.
so kinda
Right.
go down that far in the spectrum, let's
and see how it,
Right.
see how it goes.
yeah, at least then you have an idea how far you can go with looking for community partners and
Hmm.
what the park board has in mind.
Great.
Okay?
Casson Connections, I don't really have any topics to really go over, other than, people wanna discuss the facade improvement program, you know, general economic development stuff.
Seems like we're getting some interest in the facade improvement
Yeah.
program now.
And I
That's
think
great.
once we have these projects too, that we can, you know, show what happened, we can
Yes.
put this on our Facebook and say, look at this, and, yeah, I think you'll probably start seeing a lot more interest, especially if we renew this program for next year.
Mhm.
As a realtor with property for sale on Main Street, is that a flush that you put on the, ad for sale? Would that be something?
On what, the
The
Facebook
ad,
or?
yeah, or whatever, or for trying to push
Oh,
your
yeah,
property
absolutely.
that you have.
And that's what I was wondering about cabin fever, how they were, or I mean, the cabin coffee, what kind of space they were looking for and stuff, and, I don't know.
We can,
But yeah, and also too, on the chamber and all that, yeah.
Mm.
Other business? And items for November?
so, yeah, the revolving loan fund and, also the quarterly financials.
Yeah.
And facade.
Oh, yeah, and the,
And the-
and Janice's facade improvement application will also be on that.
Okay. That it, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, and the next meeting is the 5th of November,
Yes, all right.
and I will not be here.
Okay. It's my birthday.
No,
it's Nicholas Day. Nice.
Yeah.
That's the day after my birthday.
All right, I'll be here. It's not my birthday yet.